Ladies and gentlemen, it is. And I hope you like small scooters. Not because we're going to be doing another review on this one, but more because, due to another sponsor, I have another one. Alright, so since I was gone, while this was being delivered, and my dad had it right up here in the front room for me, I'm just going to unbox it up here in this nice spacious area. But let's turn on these lights so we can see things just a little bit better. I'm just gonna attempt to pull it from here because it's gonna keep lifting. I don't want that box falling down on my knee. Oh, here we go. That's how you do it as a one-man band. Whew, looking nice and clean there. I gotta go ahead and hurry this up. I don't think my dad's gonna be too happy to see his gym in a bit of a mess like this. But anyways, let's get back on track. Let's start setting this thing up. Honestly, first, I think I wanna do these handlebars just so I can make sure that they are properly aligned and I don't have to worry about that later. This is one of those moments where for some odd reason, I just decide to not even try to find the manual and I'm literally just doing it myself. There we go. All right, so I got a little 8 hangers figured out. Let's move on to the next. And now that the basket's on, we might as well go down here and plug this little old tail light in. Now, of course, what I always like to do, nice and simple, just simply sit on the bike, which it feels fairly good, and just figure out where your hand is comfortable. My hands are always comfortable with them here in this angle. And of course, because of adjusting or tightening and things like to move, when you do that, I sit on the bike one more time to make sure everything is where I wanted it. So far, things good. But now, if I'm correct, there's truly only one last thing to do, depending on you, of course. For me, that would be taking these zip ties to tidy up those wires. I'm not liking the way they're bulging out. This middle piece down here, not wanting to bulge out so much. What I was gonna do is bam, bam, but you know what? Guess I'll save these two for maybe something else. Maybe I want to tidy up that rear tail wire up a tad bit more if necessary. But why I say it may not quite be the last thing you want to do. You might want to do one last thing yourself, and that is these two. That's because that's something you may want to do. Me personally, because this has a headlight and a tail light, I don't really care for the reflectors, so I'm personally not going to put them on. The install process is done. I don't think there's anything else to put on here. So now that it's all set up, you know what you gotta do next. You gotta make sure it works. So let's grab the keys and let's turn it on. So I kind of forgot and I was thinking the key was gonna go in here. I did look at some videos while this thing was on its way to me. Weirdly had to put the key in down here. Hey, would you look at that? It's on, it's got battery. Ah. And that's how you turn our lights on, okay. It looks like it's fairly bright. So the install is done. It's on, it works. I even gave it a nudge at throttle. It wanted to jolt forward a little bit. So now what I wanna do is take this thing to the garage, get it fully charged up. And as we do that, we'll talk about this thing's features, its power, and just ride around and have some fun with it. Here we are. We are outside. Scooter fully assembled, fully charged. So let's talk about the specs. So this little thing right here, as y'all can obviously see, it's a little hub motor scooter. It's packing 819 watts of power, 819 peak if I'm correct, and I'm not 100% sure if I'm correct on the continuous watts or continuous power. I think it's something like 300 or 500 watts. But what I do know is that it's 819 peak with a 48 volt battery. The 48 volt battery is about 7.8 amp hours and it proclaims 25 miles. But not only does it proclaim 25 miles, it proclaims 20 miles per hour. Now, one thing y'all may ask, why are you testing for the second time a little bike like this when you literally have bikes like these in the garage, especially this one? Well, let me break it down. Now, you might have heard this elsewhere, but I'm going to say it here. And no, I'm not bringing this little scooter out here to make a comparison. But basically, what I'm about to say is, this little scooter right here, no, it was not a sponsor. My mom bought this with her hard work money, but this was a little scooter that my mom had bought for my little sister when her GoTrax GXL failed. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to sneak this in my room because it was a Christmas gift for her. I'm going to sneak this in my room, I'm going to unbox it, and it being a little scooter, why not do a video on it? I know it's far different from my other bikes again, but I thought it's a cool little bike, you know, why not? Some people might be looking for this thing and might want to see something about it. So I did that little review, and I'm not going to lie, I tend to do this. Even with my old Beach Cruiser that I did finally sell, I tend to think that because the bike is slower, it's not going to be as fun. With this not only being slower, it's a lot smaller, this happened to be a decent amount of fun. So to get one of my own, and it has more power, it has suspension, I'm not going to lie, I'm quite excited about this. And honestly, I want to go in a little more detail about that, but let's not do that, you know, sitting here. Let's get on the bike and let's ride it around. Now, as we take this thing on the road, there's two cons I want to talk about that I am dealing with, kind of. Very small, but things I don't like about this bike already. And number one, that is, we obviously have a key. The key needs to go somewhere. Now, I thought this was a plastic cover over the key, kind of like these rubber-ish plastic things over these bolts here. Turns out that's a button. The key, it goes down here. Now, the thing I don't like about this is I have all my keys together to all my bikes and locks and other stuff, and, you know, they dangle down. So if I'm ever driving this thing, whether it's this road, the grass, trail, and I need to do a hard turn or turn at all, maybe not because this has a pretty good amount of clearance, but there is a high chance those keys will drag, and especially on this concrete or asphalt, it's going to kind of damage the keys, and I don't want them dragged in grass or trails because I don't want to be me at the park, and that means dog doo-doo. My keys will be dragging on dog doo-doo. Now the second one was this display, but I contacted Caroma about it, and they said as of right now, this stage of the scooter, that display is what's being used, but they're doing a little bit of upgrade to the scooter, and it will eventually see a different display. So if you don't like this little better display like me, you might see a better one in the future. Besides that, I'm not going to go far on this thing. If anything, I'm about to do a loop that me and my brother used to do all the time. It's been a while. But hey, we're already testing top speed. We hit 20. So they're not wrong about its 20 miles per hour speed limit. That's another thing about this. It has mechanical brakes, which I'm typically not a fan of. But these mechanical brakes, they're solid. Hey, okay, we got some torque. But now that we're here, this is where I want to continue the conversation of what the hell is the point of a small bike when you got all these big, massive, powerful bikes. So going off where I basically started on talking about how decently fun my little sister scooter actually was. Again, you have probably heard this from other YouTubers as well. For the people who may have not, and for the people who might have big, powerful e-bikes like mine and have never really ridden a small one, in my personal opinion, your mood does depend on which bike will be fun and which one won't be, or what bike you would be in the mood to ride. And sometimes you're just not always in the mood to ride a big, heavy bike, especially if you really want to go to certain areas like your local park. You might like your local park a lot. I like my local park, but if you got a local park like my old local park, Craig Ranch, and you love that park, you really want to take your e-bikes down to that park, you took your big one down there, but you got kicked out. You could take your little bike there, you know, you could take your little bike on different paths, and sometimes just having this little zippy, quick, lightweight, agile bike, just something about it is actually really fun. Hey, somebody need a stove and a microwave? I don't know what that little thing is on the top. Oh my god, I seen that truck on Facebook Marketplace. He's selling that joint. That thing is ridiculous. This is where I want to get to another topic of why this little bike is so fun and why I'm actually glad I have it. A lot of the times we're out here, the weather's great, like it's genuinely great right now. Chilling in front of the driveway, and I just want to take my bike up and down the street. I don't really have a bike to do that with anymore, especially while Surron is still sitting in the garage like an old broken and forgotten project. And it kind of feels dumb to, compared to my other bikes, my very large Shadow, taking that up and down that little street just kind of feels stupid, I'm not gonna lie. That is too big of a bike to be doing all that with. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't feel the same. So having this little zippy thing right here feels a lot better. You know, it's a little neighborhood cruiser. That's what I like to call it. But then with that, going back to my little sister's scooter, I did a review on her little Christmas gift with my Surron being down, the bobber just too big. I repaired my mom's bike, but it was my mom's bike, so I wasn't just gonna hop on it and drive it around all the time, which that one felt better taking it around the neighborhood because it's a lot smaller, a lot lighter of a bike. But even sometimes I would much rather, and I used to be on my Surron way more than the bobber. The only reason I started going on the bobber is because I was letting my brother ride the Surron. So going back to my little sister's bike, you know, just constantly doing this, riding my little sister's scooter around. I'm not gonna lie, man. But this is a fun little scooter right here. And it's so fun, man. My sister would be on it. He's talking to my mom. I'd get up and jump up on it and roll off on her. Start riding around. It was actually really fun to play with. And still to this day, I would jump on it and sneak it from her. So yeah, man, I'd sneak it. But now I got my own. So yeah, that is kind of why. These are fun little bikes, man. I'm not gonna lie. My little sister joint's fun. And whipping around this thing, just going a little bit faster, feels kind of nice. I like that this one has suspension, even though I can't and I wasn't expecting the greatest suspension in the world. These springs back here are stiff. Is it better than a hardtail? I mean, yeah, because it has suspension. But if you expect this to be super cushy and comfortable, I don't know. Actually, you know what? I may need to put it in its lightest spring form or whatever you call it. With all the mileage done off screen. So the first trip I did, we was going through the neighborhood and I was talking with y'all about small bikes. We did 5.65 miles. And then the second trip I did off camera was 9.80 miles. So yes, my math is that terrible. I'm not about to try to even do it right now. We did that much miles, all right? But now that we did the range test, I thought this was a perfect time to take this little thing to park. I wanted to take my dad's car. I was struggling to put it in the trunk. He's trying to eventually sell it, so I ain't trying to scratch some shit up. So I had to drive it here, but we're on the trail now. We should be all good. This thing got a little 16 miles in it. You know, the park ain't that far. And now we on the trail. So maybe it's a good thing I took this. It's been a while since I hit this trail. I think the last time I hit this trail, I was on my little sister's bike, which I'm not gonna lie though, I have been kind of enjoying this thing. I ain't gonna lie. This has been pretty fun. I'm kind of trying to do some things that are a little more important than building another bike right now. And I said this in the last video with me talking about my crash. I did indeed do another study. I got some money. I spent a chunk of money on a little something else that is, in my opinion, well needed. It'll bring some content back to the channel. So yes, it is channel related. The thing I bought will bring content back to my channel. Content that we've been missing for a while. Content we haven't had in a minute. Content I would love to bring back, especially places and ideas I had thought about going with said item. But we'll see a while from now, but y'all will eventually see what that is. Besides that one item that I spent a good chunk of money on, which to me I think is going to be worth it, the other stack of money is going to go towards something a little more important than a project. I forgot I got a bell, but not a horn. Thank you. It's coming in hot. I was moving a little fast there, but here we are. We're at the park. We're at the grass. And oh man, I'm 100% sure y'all saw it. There's no way you didn't, but how can I forget to mention it? Oh shit. Ooh, I forgot. It is Saturday, so a lot of people are going to be here. I got the speaker, so just like him, I'm about to be blasting some music. We're here at the park, but we're not here alone. We gotta locate some people. It's not a group ride. We're the only duo today, but it's just some other people that's here at the park with us. So let's take a trip. I had to remind my brother because during the time I was recording the video for this camera while I was going to the trip, this Ace Pro 2, I was taking my big bike, my big bobber, the Honda, and one of these workers told me I can't have my bike here. Now I wasn't surprised, but I was because I've been here for 4 years and I've never heard any workers complain about my bikes, any of my bikes, no matter how big or small. And the newest bobber I've taken, not a lot, but a few times for the last year. But he happened to say something. So my brother being on a fairly big bike, I had to remind him. But yeah, so the reason why I'm not too surprised is because they are motorcycles. I gotta be real there. Besides that, just had never had anybody say that to me. But I think that could be due to the laws that are finally, not that I've been waiting for them, I don't want them to change, but they're finally changing. So I don't know if that means even more restrictions on the road. Ah, there they are.
We're here with the family. Yeah. We cruising. We cruising.
This shit sucks.
We're still chilling. Wait, hold on. Look at this guy. Hey. Look at him go. That's sick. We back to rolling though. I really do want to play my speaker music, but it's so loud. Y'all wouldn't be to hear me. Coming through, little lady. Coming through. Oh, she's not very happy. We hitting 20 on the trail. Come on now. I would say I don't want to hear no complaining. You on this little low e-bike? Kind of got a bit of a motorcycle behind me. It is what it is. It ain't gonna be the first time we've done this. Problem is, again, laws are changing, so who knows how long it's gonna last. But like I was saying, me and Axon used to do this circle all the goddamn time. It's 2023. It kind of feels good to do it again. Except I was on my Surron, but believe it or not, Surron is still out of whack. I don't know when it's gonna get beat back together, I'll be honest. Like I mentioned in the last video with family issues, and even before family issues, and just having the problem with the old bobber, even though that was quite some time from now. So I can't continue making that an excuse. But just all that shit had me exhausted. The racing shit had me exhausted. So like, I ain't really trying to work on nothing like that. So that battery has just been sitting there. The cells, I hope should still be fine, because you know that'd just be another pair of money down the drain. So I hope the cells are fine, so it can be something I can possibly repair. Besides that, battery's out of whack. So one of these days they'll be back up, because I really miss my Surron. I'm not about to just have that bike sitting around. I'm kind of tired of having fixed bikes and broken bikes. Every time I fix a bike, it's another broken bike. I'm really glad the Mototech is back. It's been a while since I've been on it though, but the Mototech is back with that Surron battery. I gotta fix my other bikes now, like the Surron, and last but not least, ooh, speaking of it, because I just kind of forgot about it until I just now remembered it. Okay, I'm losing it. Project Flash. I can't believe I've left it in the dust for so long. I need to get away from these. They be having wasp in them. Wasp are, well, some, not all. The yellow wasp, I think they're yellow jackets. I don't know which is what. I don't know if they're both the same, because I searched up yellow jackets, yellow jacket wasp, and I found like pretty much fully yellow wasp. I think they had like lighter yellow and darker yellow on them. But then, oh shit, I took the wrong turn. But the wasp I remember are black and yellow. If black and yellow wasp are not yellow jackets, what are they? Anyways, there'd be yellow jacket wasp in my area in this park, and they're not that aggressive. But other wasp are very aggressive. Sometimes in your mind you're too busy trying to keep up. I've done that. I've never crashed because of it, but at certain times I'll be so busy trying to keep up with other people, I start doing things that are a little too wild, a little too far past my skill level. I got a bell. This bell is not loud. This little thing is fun. I love having these little low bikes, man. I need something like this but faster. Well, I'm glad I picked up the little sponsor bike. This thing is actually pretty fun. Grass test. Okay, not quite as uncomfortable as I thought it would be. But any big dips, my spine still might snap. But I'll tell you what, it's a lot better than my little sister's. Hers has no suspension at all. Let's get from down here though. Oh, oh. First the kid, then the dog. I ain't trying to run nothing over now. My knee is still, it's healing. Somebody gotta tell me what's going on with my knee. I don't know how easy it would be for me to show you, because I'd have to pull my pants up, but my scabs came off. You know, it's real light under the scabs. Still gotta heal and get its color back. Hard to show you on my knee. There's two problems, and I don't know which one is which. I'm hoping it's the other and not the other. But if I were to show you my knee right now, but you see the bumps? I think I got blisters. Now, apparently you either have blisters because an infection, or what could be the good side, hopefully it's a healing thing. Look at them go. That is crazy. I could also have blisters in my knees, because some people get blisters in their knees after knee surgery. It could be the fact that after the knee surgery, your knee tissues are healing or whatever, and it causes a little bit of pressure. Oblivious as hell. People gotta start teaching their kids to have some awareness. Alongside it won't be an infection. It's not anything bad. It's just the knee tissue is healing, which I wouldn't be surprised if I have knee tissue damage. I think I have a little bit, because I can walk fine. I haven't really tried to jump, like full jump. I haven't tried to full sprint. I'm not gonna risk that. But going up the stairs, my knee still feels a little weird sometimes. Crouching down, my knee feels a little weird sometimes. Just bending the knee feels a little weird. It's not painful, it doesn't hurt, but it's a little weird. But I'm just saying this because I'm hoping it's not an infection. My reason why I think it wouldn't be an infection is because people talk about the infections as cause more swelling around the blister. There's no swelling around the blister. It's not red around the blister. It doesn't itch, it doesn't hurt. I can actually touch it, it feels fine. Just feels like a little bubble of skin. That's why I don't think it's an infection, and I think that The tiny one at the top has been there for like 4 days now. This being the 4th day. The bigger one at the bottom has been there for 3 days. There's still been no pain, no extra swelling around it. They've gotten to where they are and they just kind of stayed there. So I think it's the possibility of just a little bit of pressure going on, especially after the scabs came off. And my knee tissues are damaged and they're still healing, because my knees feel way better than they used to, way better. But I can still feel that weird feeling I would get after the crash, and my whole body was so sore, so badly sore. It still feels like that, but way less. It doesn't affect my daily ways. So yeah, that's that. That's the update on the crash and my damages I've taken. But hey, that's been a little stroll around the park. Yes sir, getting sideways on him. But now it's time to take this thing back home before the battery gets a little too low and bump some music, some copyright, so I can't record that. Now hold up, I done left the park. I'm out here at dark. Why? Because one thing I forgot to show y'all. Now I'm pretty sure I showed y'all how to turn this on, but I'm out here to show you how bright the light is, because I haven't even tested that yet. It'll be the first time I see it as well, so we're about to find out together. Oh boy. It's actually as bright as I expected it to be, but it's nice to see it at night, because it looked fairly bright when I turned it on in the front room with all that light. The tail light is very bright as well, so I'm not going to need the reflectors. But there's one thing I want to show too. As y'all can see, my hands on the brakes. Look at that. So people will know when I'm braking. That's great. Take a short stroll. And obviously we got some pretty bright street lights on out here, but this light is still very visible even with this lighting. And I gotta say it again, I'm not too surprised on how bright the light is, because again, I accidentally turned it on when I was trying to put the key in. I just didn't realize that this is not a key switch. I saw how bright it was in broad daylight with all the lights on in that big old room, the living room. But to see how bright it is actually driving it through the night streets is pretty nice. So that is our light show right there, especially in this dark area. Look at that. You can see real far with it too, shining on the house. Now hold on. There's one thing I want to mention, and I'm going to assume it has to be this nut right here, if you can see it. I think that's getting a little loose, because as I can see, this is crooked. That is loose, and I don't like how loose it is. So I think I'm going to need to apply some Loctite and tighten that some more, because unless it has nylon lock, it just wasn't tight enough at all. This has gone loose. You can't see it, but I can feel the shake in there, and there wasn't really any shake at all. So not a fan that there is now shake due to something being loose down there. But besides that, that's something I wanted to do. There we go. Oh, that's not whiskey throttle into a bush again. But there you go. That is the brightness of the lights, the headlight, the tail light on this little old scooter right here. Now there's one more thing I want to say, and that is we pretty much have looked at everything on this scooter, from its range, its speed, how it drives, actually driving it, taking it in the park. Now for the people who are interested in getting the scooter, I originally saw this at a price of $389, but it seems to have changed to about $249, I think, with $170 shipping. I don't know if that's going to be forever. It could be because this whole tariff thing is going on. I'm not 100% sure. But that's what it is. You put the math together, and then you decide if this is worth that price for you. But I'm going to say it again, $249 as of right now as I'm speaking on April 29th, and $170 in shipping. And if you want to go straight to purchasing this thing, I got the link down in the description below, so go ahead and click that if you're looking to buy this little old scooter. But with all that out the way, and with all that being said, that is about it, ladies and gentlemen. That has been the little review, the little ride on the Caroma P1. And I gotta say, man, once again, it's a pretty fun scooter, I'm not gonna lie. I'm glad I got it. It's a nice little neighborhood bike. I need a little something like this. I've been especially wanting a small bike for kind of a while, after having my big bikes for so long. And then, you know, sometimes I still like to do my neighborhood cruises when sitting out chilling with the family. It just feels a little goofy doing that with a 450-pound bike. Even with the old bobber at 270 pounds, you know, it just felt a little ridiculous. So to have this little thing is quite nice. But I gotta say, I love its power. I always mess around with my little sister scooter. That thing was fun, but obviously having my higher power bikes, it was a little lackluster. This is obviously a lot less than what I'm used to, but it having just a little more oomph in its kick when you twist that throttle feels pretty good. I like that it has a decent amount of range, so I can have some fun within the neighborhood for a decent amount of time. But most importantly, because even though, yeah, the power is still lackluster, I like this frame. And if I didn't say it already, I'm gonna say it here. This little guy right here might be prone to some pretty good upgrades, especially with the chassis like this. I'm gonna ride off into the sunset, well, the clouds, and I'm gonna officially say my outro. I hope you all enjoyed this little video right here on the Caroma P1. If you did, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, because I got more e-bikes. I got bigger e-bikes, I got faster e-bikes. But I'm gonna say it one more time: like, comment, and hit that subscribe button. Let's try with the people. Become electric with the rest of the people. It has been, and I'm out. Peace.